What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I'm going to be doing a 1-year review on my ESKIMO EVO 1iT crossover ice fishing shelter. I've had this shelter for just about a year, and I'm going to be doing a 1-year review on it. We're going to talk about why I bought this over the flip over style. I'm going to show you guys how it pops up and pops down. I'll show you guys the interior of it. I'll just kind of go over, everything I can think of on this shelter. I did do an initial thought review about a year ago. I did an end of season review, which unfortunately got corrupted after I uploaded it, and I didn't realize it till I had deleted the footage. I had a bunch of people saying it cut off about 3 minutes in, which it didn't upon my review. But anyway, so we're going to be doing a one-year review, and I'm going to start off by talking about some of the reasons why I went this route versus the flip over route, and in really no certain order, but a couple of the biggest ones were I felt like some of the flip overs were just too cramped. I felt like I was bumping shoulders with the sides of them, and if you got into like some of the more roomy ones, they were pushing 80-90 pounds, and I just didn't want to be dragging that around because I primarily fish on foot. So that's one of the big reasons, is I just felt like this one had more room. This is a one-man, but you can easily fish 2 people out of it. I do keep my daughter in mind anytime I buy something like this. She's not with me today, but she does come out quite a bit. In days that are, cold, it's good to get out of the wind. So we can easily be in the shack, both her and I. If I'm with my brother or a friend, you can easily fish 2 people out of this. It's a little cramped, but you can do it. This had the bigger windows. This has 4 big windows. I set out ice fishing traps a lot, and I sometimes have them scattered all over the place, and I can pretty much see them from any one of these 4 windows. The competitors at the time had these just little tiny boxy windows, and I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of inconvenient. You had to look and twist all over the place to see out the windows. So that was one big reason. Another big reason is the seat. And the seat, in my opinion, was far more comfortable than any of the competitors. I fished in this thing for 6 hours and was super comfortable the whole time. Some of the other shacks I checked out, in my opinion, the seats just weren't that comfortable. But this thing came standard with a really comfortable seat. So there's number 3. Number 4 is the sled size. I wanted a sled that I could fit all my gear in and not feel like it was super cramped. And the sled on this was quite a bit bigger than the competitors. So right off the top of my head, them are the 4 big reasons why I went this shack over the standard flip over style. So what we're going to do now is I'll give you guys a quick walk around. And the 1iT stands for one man insulated top. And it has 2 windows, one on each side, that are this size. And it has 2 slightly bigger ones here in the front, which I really like. Like I said, you can really see a lot with these. It has this tie down, which I really rarely use. We'll get into that in a minute. It has these flat tie downs, which again I rarely use. So again, the side fabric is not insulated, the top is. It has the reflectors, which do work really well. It has this back window, which you really can't see out of, but it does let in a little bit of light into the back of your sled, which is pretty handy. And it has a vent, so you can vent if you're running a heater. And I just want to talk real quick about the day today. It's about 15 degrees with probably a 5-mile-an-hour wind, so it's chilly. Not bone chilling cold, but it's chilly and pretty bright, as you can see. And I've been fishing for a couple hours without a heater. And if I had to guess, I'd guess the shack was 40 degrees, maybe 50. It's warm enough that my guides aren't icing up and my line's not icing up. So this shack heats up really well with that insulated top. So I'm going to talk about another question I get quite a bit before we tear this down and show you guys how to pop it up. Is, how does this thing do in the wind? I get asked that all the time. And this thing actually does extremely well in the wind, as long as you have the rear of the shack facing the direction of the wind. It's pretty well bulletproof. I fished in this last year in 30-mile-an-hour wind, and I didn't stake it down at all. And as long as I had the rear end facing the wind, it was fine. Obviously, if you turn this thing sideways to the wind, you'd be getting into some problems. But I find that as long as you put rear end to the wind, it's fine. So I think that's all for the outside. Can't think of anything else. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention is I like the door here. It's a nice big door. It starts all the way down here. goes all the way up and around that way. So pretty easy access in and out. So that's another big reason why I liked it. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop the shack down. I'm going to put all my gear in it just like I would normally go out fishing. I'll show you guys how I transport everything. And then I'll pop it up and I'll show you guys the inside of it. Alright, so this is basically how I transport it. It is slightly messier than I normally would transport it. I have my auger, backpack, I have my flasher, jig rod under the canopy. Real quick, before I set it up, I want to show you guys the seat. This is a metal frame seat. It has this mesh fabric, which I find is extremely comfortable. You know, when I sit in this, I can put all my body weight back on that, and it doesn't move at all. You know, this seat swivels, which is good. So if you want to get back, you know, into your gear, you can swivel. Some of the other sleds I was looking at, you know, the seat just was either stationary, maybe flipped. I think one I looked at slid back and forth, but I like this one because it swivels. That goes down, and that can lift up out of the way. Another question I get is any modifications I do to this sled. I really only plan on doing maybe 2 modifications to it. Modification 1, I want to replace these with just some cotter pins, so in case I do want to take the seat off for whatever reason, I can take it off. Like if I plan on hauling this thing for a couple miles and I want to save a little weight. I don't anticipate doing that, but that's something I may do. And I don't know, I may put some lights in it. I don't know if I want to get into hauling around an extra battery and lights, but that's something I may get into. So anyway, this is basically how I carry everything. So what I'm going to do now, haul my gear out, and I'll show you guys how to pop this up. And I'll explain it as I'm going through it. Okay, so I always carry this with the seat up, and the posts are under the seat. So got to get them out first. Flip the seat up. So now all you do is just pull the canopy out, and you got to pop this first hub. And I'll bring you over here, and you got to go in and pop up the second hub, which you can sometimes do just from out here. Okay, so there's that step. I'll show you guys once it's actually up, but there's a bar in back you gotta move into place. I'll show you that in just a second. What that's going to do is it's going to raise up the rear end of the shack. And it's that easy. That shack is all set up. Alright, I'll show you guys the inside, and I'll explain a little bit what I did on the inside here. Okay, so this is how big the door is. So, I mean, you could drive a Mack truck through that. I mean, big honking door on it. Alright, let's head into the shack. Alright, I'm going to close this door up. Give you a little better of a feel. Alright, so let's get these windows popped open. So here we are in the shack. I'm sitting in the chair facing forward. Here's the left-hand window, front left, front right, and the right window, which is also the door. So each one of these windows has a cover. So you can pretty much black this thing right out if you want to. That's the window. That's the window covered. All right, so I'll show you guys the inside of the shack a little bit. Hoping it shows pretty good. So this is the hub I popped out first. I don't know if you can see that. That's just like a regular hub style shack hub. And the second one is up top here. That's the one I popped up second. And I'm gonna get the chair out of the way. And this bar here is what I popped up last. That's what lifted the rear end up. I'll show you guys that real quick. What this thing run with just has this center post here. So all you do with this is just take this, lift the back up, and slide it right in the hole there, and that's what holds the back up. Here's the rear window. Lets a lot of light in. And I'm going to try my best to show you guys the footprint of this shack. You know, I'm sitting in the middle. You could very easily have a guy sitting over here on the side, you know, fishing a hole over here in the corner. Has a mesh pocket right there. You can put some gear. It does come with a couple support braces, which go right here on the corner. They tuck up in here. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little hole, and that rod can run right here just to give you a little support in the wind. All right, guys. Now we're going to pop the shack down. I'll try my best to show you guys how to do it. It's pretty easy. What you do, like I mentioned earlier, all you have to do is take this one post, pull that up. These drop down onto the sled. And what I do now is pop the top down. Actually, I'll show you guys from here. Maybe you'll see it better. So pop the top in. Pop the front. And what I do is I try my best to tuck all the fabric in. So you take the posts, flip the seat up, drop them down. Take the fabric and just tuck in as much as you can. And that is ready for travel. I'm just going to put all my gear in it, and I'm actually heading out of here right now. So we're all packed up. It looks a little messy, but I only have about 100 yards to walk, maybe 150. If I'm walking a long distance and it's rough terrain, I will throw stuff under the canopy and strap it down. But I just have a short walk to go on pretty much glare ice, so I just threw everything on top. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that review video. So just to summarize, guys, I love this shack. You know, 2 thumbs up, A+ for me. There's not one bad thing to say about it. I really enjoy this shack. If you guys have any further questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. If you guys have an ESKIMO EVO 1iT and you want to share your experience, go for it. Leave a comment down in the comments down there. I feel like that's important, you know, is to get as many opinions as you can. But we're going to sign off for this one, guys, and we'll see you soon.